All right. So, on Desmos, normal dist, 360/30. So we're all there, right? All right. So then we did hit the little square. We did this to be 400. That make sense? Cool. All right. Everyone feel comfortable with that type of answer? All right. Number 2, thank you, says mature redwood trees are between 360 and 420 tall. 420 again, yay. All right. So this is going to be our min, this will be our max. So change on the screen, make your minimum the 370, make the maximum 420. Now, friends, please verify that you agree with this answer. 34.7. Do you feel comfortable with how I did that? Did that work on your phone or your computer? You see how I got it? And just there, that worked out nicely. All right. We good so far? Now, number 3. Any questions on 1 or 2? We all good? Everyone's good? Cool. Number 3 says, a specific tree in the redwood forest is so tall that only 16% of the trees are taller. Only 16% are taller. Okay, so this is kind of a goofy thing. What we're looking at is we're looking to figure there's some number on the x-axis between 250 and 450 for the most part. That's what our thing shows. That 16% of the area over here is going to be lapsed. So what we have to do is this. Subtract 16 from 100% to give you 84. Okay? So that's a great call. Okay? So notice this. If I do an area, and I want this area over here, it's not going to allow me to do 16% because if I do 16%, it's going to be area on the left. So I'm going to go 100 minus the 16. 100% minus the 16, and that gets me 84%. 84% as a decimal is 0.84. Do you agree? Yes. Okay, which means it's going to give me a whole shaded region to once it gets to 84% of the area under the curve. So we have to do one step further on Desmos. So I put a period. My graph goes away. Oh no. And then you go inverse CDF, parentheses. What percent am I putting in there? 0.84, 84%. So what this means here is that trees in this particular forest, looking at a normal distribution, if I got to 389.8 feet tall, 389.3 feet tall. Basically, 389 is like here. $389 is right there. Okay? That means that only 16% of the area to the right of that would account for trees that are taller than trees that are 389.3 feet tall. Taller than a football field. Wow. Okay. Hey, friends, did you feel comfortable with that kind of question? Do you have the notes written down that you need that if you were to save this as your notes for later, you would be spot on. Good? All right. Next question. Says, answer each, do not shade the bell curve. Okay, so 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6 are not related to these trees. Okay, so I'm going to move this up. Move this up. So 4, 5, and 6. All right, we good? All right, so on this particular problem, this is not related to our hardwood trees. Did anywhere on 4, 5, or 6, did it tell us a mean or an average?
No.
No. Did it give us a standard deviation?
No.
No. What should we use in place of that on Desmos?
0 and 1.
0 and 1. Use 0 for a mean. If you don't know the mean, you don't know the standard deviation, you just do 0 and 1. If you hit your little plus button, that'll become your normal distribution as far as z-scores go. Okay? So, number 4, my test. For problem number 4, it says, what percent of all z-scores are greater than 0.76? So what we're looking at on here is 0.76 is like right about where my finger is. Agreed? Between 0 and 1, closer to 1 than it is 0. Agreed? So I'm looking for the region, the area to the right of that. Okay? So my lower bound is going to be 0.76. And then to change my top bound, I'm going to clear that out and then move my cursor back to get that. So this one, on a normal distribution that I don't know the mean and the standard deviation, that means that 22.4% of my area under my curve is to the right of that. So I'm a 0.76 standard deviation. Okay, what do I do on number 5 then with this region? Yeah.
You put a minimum of -0.63 and a maximum of 0.76 to get 51.2%.
Right. So -0.63 is like over here. 0.76 is here. So we're going to talk about the area in there. So my minimum value is going to be -0.63. And my maximum will be the 0.76. So that gives me, did I do that right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about 51.2% of the area that is shaded. 51.2% of the area is shaded. So now, any questions on 4 or 5? Do you feel comfortable with that? For number 6, we're talking the 80th percentile, which means what number down here will have 80% of the area to the left of it. So this is, what do I have to do on Desmos in order to make this one work? Yeah, inverse CDF. So period, inverse CDF. 80th percentile is 80%. 80% as a decimal is what? 0.80 or 0.8. So this means that you would basically have a z-score of 0.84. Okay? So on my normal distribution, if I got rid of this, 0.84 is like somewhere in this region here. Okay, somewhere in here. And if I color this all to the left. Now, how you could also see this problem is, watch this. We said 0.84, right? All right. Notice, this is the 80th percentile. Now, I realize that we're off a smidge, right? This says 0.79995 or 0.7997. So this, for the most part, rounds to 80%. That's where we're 80%. So our z-score of 0.84 gives us 80% of the area under the curve. Friends, do you feel comfortable with the front page? Are we ready to go to the back page? We good? Everyone good? Is your neighbor good? All right. On the back side of this paper, says local business monitors sales of its employees. Weekly sales among the employees tend to be normally distributed with a mean of 1,000 per week and a standard deviation of 350. Show the shaded bell curve calculator. So, for problem number 7, 92nd percentile, 8, okay, perfect. All right. So, normal distribution, what am I putting in? 1,100, 350. Hit the little plus button. That's our normal distribution based on these sales. So the 92nd percentile is the what? Yeah. So the 92nd percentile is the 0.92. So I'm going to go inverse CDF 0.92. Okay, so for problem number 7, all right, so if somebody sold $1,591.78, they are in the top 92% of their sales class. Okay? Problem number 8. Talk to me.
Problem number 8 is 79.3%.
How's that?
Because you get rid of the inverse CDF and throw in 1,300 as a minimum, 1,600 as next.
Perfect.
And then you subtract 40.7 from 100. Because say what's not.
Yeah, and saying what's not.
What's not? Oh, I love this. I love this.
Remove whatever value it's telling you from, 100.
So you get 1.7, so you get 100 minus 4.7 gives you 79.3.
Cool. So, number 8. Number 8, we're saying you're asking these people here account for 0.207 or 20.7% of the sales. It says, but if you read it, says, what percentage of salesmen will not get a lunch coupon for the following week? So I have to subtract 100% from that. Basically, I'm looking at the area that's to the right of 1,600 and the area to the left of 1,300. And so 100 minus 20.7, 79.3%. Is that right?
Yeah.
So 79.3, no lunch. No lunch coupons. Okay?
But people who drove up,
Yeah, they might have some other incentive.
they get some.
But it's just if you happen to fall in that range, hey, you guys get free lunch, these guys get a free car, these guys get fired.
I like that. I like that.
I don't know.
Get fired. These guys, and the guys all the way below 0 get stoned.
People above 100 get stoned.
All right, number 9. Number 9 is the trickiest of all of them because you have to kind of be wise about this. It says the middle 80%. The middle 80% are given a fruit basket. The middle 80% are given a fruit basket. What are the cutoff values for the middle 80%? All right, so let's see who is paying attention. What percent is all the area underneath the curve? 100. So you're talking about the middle 80% are going to get a fruit basket. And I know this is a big incentive. Everyone wants a fruit basket, right? So if the middle is 80%, how much area is left? 20.
10 per each side.
10 per each side. So the two tails account for 10%. So this is going to be an inverse CDF. Inverse CDF of 10%. So people that are at, so for number 9, people that get to 651.47, this no fruit. But that's basically on this normal curve. That's these people down here. Okay? Then I have to figure out what these people over here. So this down here was 10%.
That'd be 90.
This is 10%. So right here, the cutoff is 90%. So then I have to change the 0.10 to 0.90. And so the people that are at that top end, so this value right here is 1548.54. Maybe they get 2 fruit baskets. I don't know what these guys get. So that is the quiz for today.
What's up?
Do you feel comfortable with what we have? Is there anything that we did that you weren't sure about that I could help you with?
Well, I mean, I sprained my ankle, but yeah.
Okay, other than sprained ankles.
My pancreas broke.
No. You don't want your pancreas. Yes. How do I get what? How do I get this right here? Okay, so the people that sold between 1,300 and 1,600 account for basically 20.7% of the sales. That means that 79.3% of the sales wouldn't have been that. You have some on the left, some on the right, and that one was for the lunch coupon. All right. None back there? I don't remember the restroom. I'm sorry. All right. Is your name on your quiz?
Yes.
And it's